In times of chaos and breakdown, where might we turn for guidance? To the myths, the storytellers, the wisdom keepers, and the rabble-rousers. To the ones braving the seas of uncertainty, not with answers, but with poetry, beauty, and well-crafted questions. I'm Ian McKenzie, co-founder of the School of Mythopoetics, a place to gather with like-hearted folks to navigate the mysteries together. And this is The Crow's Nest, where I speak with an array of guests who are employing their mythic imagination to engage with the tempest of the times. You're invited to join me live on YouTube each week. Visit schoolofmythopoetics.com/podcast to learn more. And now, enjoy our conversation. Greetings, friends. Like many of you, I've been watching the events unfolding in Iran with hope and horror. Just over 1 month ago, according to the BBC, Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old from Kurdistan province, was visiting Tehran when morality police officers arrested her, claiming that her headscarf, or hijab, was too loose. She fell into a coma and died in hospital 3 days later. Police said her death was due to a heart attack, while the state coroner said it was the result of pre-existing medical conditions. Her father has said she had no history of heart problems, but her body had bruises on her legs, and he suspects she was killed in custody. That's ignited anger across Iran, led mostly by women who are refusing to back down, even as the government forces have reportedly killed over 200 more citizens. I wanted to hear from someone on the ground within the uprising, and so I reached out to an Iranian friend in Toronto who put me in touch with an actress and activist who's taken the name SAGHAR. She shared with me her passion and perspective from the heart of this new revolution. Our discussion is potent and deeply touching. And I would say enjoy, but instead, I ask that you be stirred into meaningful action. You can check the show notes below to see how to connect and get involved. And now, our conversation. Welcome to you. SAGHAR, thank you for joining me here for this edition of The Crow's Nest, coming to us from in the heart of Iran, I understand.
Thanks for having me.
I'd love to hear from you who's there and in the midst of what's happening, to share some of the origin of how did this come about, this latest wave of this seems to be women-led uprising against the regime. If you could share, what was it that sparked this movement?
I mean, I'm an actress here, and moreover, a writer, like a content creator. As such a viewpoint, I think sometimes people just tolerated, and at one point, they thought that they cannot tolerate it anymore. I mean, the thing that is at first, I think, in my opinion, there are two main factors that made all this. The first one is whatever goes against women in any criteria, like in sport, as an actress. I mean, this is the first time that I'm talking to someone or in a video or without putting on this, because all the time I was scared that they will ban my theaters, like my movies, all the time women, they were not free to do anything. Recently, one of our sport women, El-Nazar Rekabi, she appeared, I don't know whether you heard about her or not. She appeared without hijab for the first time in the history of Iran in these 40 years. And we think they arrested her in South Korea. And we don't know what is going on for her. So the first thing is women. And the second thing is that as a rich country, we cannot use our resources. They do whatever with our resources, but not let us improve in education, in health area, in anything. So these two items, and maybe a third one, that they try to be enemy with everyone in the world. Like, but we're not like this. As like artists, educated people, scientists in Iran, like the population, we want to be friend with anyone all around the world, and they don't want. They want to be enemy.
Thank you for that. So yeah, you speak of these sort of main discontents, and it seems like the latest this wave was sparked by, of course, the detention and then death of a particular woman, Mahsa Amini. I understand, right, who was arrested on September 13th for, I understand, not showing, or for showing some of her hair, not wearing her hijab properly, and of course ended up dead a few days later. Sounds like in custody. And it sort of seems like that was the spark that really ignited this fundamental discontent. And I wonder, for you, where were you upon hearing that news? And, what was it that ignited you to get involved in the way that you have?
Sorry, whenever, again, I remember that day. And moreover, the day that Nikasha Karami died. It makes... I cannot stop crying. I remember we were practicing a theater in a plateau. We have heard that they had arrested the girl, and like in Tehran, she was somehow a stranger. She had come from a Kurdish city just as a guest to Tehran, and they had arrested her. They had arrested me like 2 times for my hijab too, and they behaved really cruelly with me too. I remembered those times, and we heard the news, and we were tracking the news until they said that she's dead because of some foolish reasons. This is what they do all the time. They kill people, and they say like the people just it was a suicide, or she fell from a place, or she was sick before. Yeah, I was there when I heard the news, and then little by little people went out and supported like her family, and then it became like a general thing, as we all remembered what was happening in all these days to us. So we joined like the protest.
Wow. And what was it that it was called you forth? Like, as in, did you join like in the streets? Did you also join? I understand, I've seen videos of, women burning their hijabs and cutting their hair as a sign of really what feels like a desire to live fully, right? To be expressed and to live fully.
As part of this generation, I did that too. But the thing is, if 95% of population in Iran, they agree with what is happening, or they believe in these protests, they don't join it because they are scared a lot. They kill without any, they just do that. I mean, even worse than what's going on in Afghanistan or any other country, they do that with cruelty. So as much as I could, I went out. But some other guys, like they are not putting on police officers' uniforms. They are putting on private clothes, but they have guns and knives, and we're scared a lot. I mean, whoever in the street who can come to you and say, "Why are you here? What are you saying?" and arrest you without any. He doesn't have any card or clothes, special clothes. So the situation is scary. I did that as much as I could, but not as much as I liked.
Well, thank you for your courage. I wonder, growing up under this regime, what was the messaging that you were told by the government and the culture not maybe not to your close friends and family, but like, what was the culture? What was the regime telling you about being a woman? What is a woman's role? What is a woman meant to be? I'm curious if you would speak to that.
There is something special that I really want to mention this. I believe that they are not even performing a true religion. I mean, a true Islam or anything. It is not Islam even. I think they are taking advantage of their religion to be. 99% of my friends or relatives, they don't believe in their religion themselves, but I believe in this religion. I think the first thing that even this religion says is to be kind to people, to civilize your people. So what they are doing is exactly vice versa. So even they are not, it is not true Islam. And the thing that I believe is that this you shouldn't force people to do anything, like to do according any religion. There should be some rules that they are good for people, but not the rules that good for. I mean, the point is that in like Western countries, most of the time, the rules are for the benefits of population. But in my country or in the third world, the rules are for the government to sustain.
There's the rallying cry, I understand, of 3 words for the movement, or at least has been reported on, that are, I believe, women, life, freedom. Yeah, could you speak to that? Could you speak the words in your language, and what do those words mean to you and to the movement?
I think these are the main 3 things that we never had. We never had a crystal clear appearance of women, like truly, and we didn't have a true life here, and most of all, freedom. So people put these 3 words together, and they added another verse which is famous these days, like the words, like, let me translate it, is mard mihan abadi, zan zendagi azadi, mard mihan abadi. It is like men, hometown, are like Iran, men, hometown, and development. They added this second verse too. But yeah, these 3 words are the true words that we had never seen them in our country, and we really deserved to. So this is what most people insist on, especially that freedom part.
And what does it mean to be a women-led movement? As I understand, it's been reported that this is a women-led uprising, and of course others have joined. But what does that mean to you, and maybe how is that different than other uprisings in the past?
I think this is, if it goes to the end, that I really wish it would. Although, like, I can go and live, I have an American passport. I can go and live in America right now. I'm applying for like acting careers in other countries. I can go and live somewhere else, but I want to live in my hometown. So, but I think if it goes to the end, it is the first revolution in the history of the world that is by women. I mean, women just women are the initiative ones. So, and it is, as a poetry viewpoint, I think it is such a, instead of a revolution, it is like a poet. We are being killed or we are dying as women, to let like other women after us or like our children live freely. So yeah, I remember like 1 month ago, in the beginning of these protests, I told my friend that it is the most poetic revolution, because women, we are like, I know that women somehow They are scared more than men, but we were stronger. Like the first ones who came, and even now you can see bunch of women. They are shouting and protesting, and then other boys they are adding to us. And one more thing is that they all the time they told us that you have to uh, wear this hijab to get protected, like against men. But now we can see that the ones who let us be safe, like our social boyfriends, our other guys around us, and they are the ones who let us feel safe. And the police officers are the one whom we are scared of. The meanings are changing in my country. One more interesting thing that, sorry, it's not related, but I want to add it here is that, like, have you heard about Evin 2 or 3 days ago? Evin is the most famous prison in my country. They made a big fire in Evin. And you know what we were worried about? The prisoners, because the prisoners in Evin, they were the most famous actors, directors, writers, Sharif University students, Olympiad medal winners, genius people. So we were worried about prisoners. And it was funny, wherever in the world there is a fire in a prison, people are worried about what if the prisoners come out and they are dangerous for us. Nowadays, the police officers are dangerous for us. We are worried about the protesters, prisoners, they are our friends.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. It's touching to hear you speak of the men that are coming to support you, and the ones that you were told to be afraid of, or that you're calling them forth to stand with you in this moment. And I'm touched by that as well. I wonder what is missing from, or what is the regime missing in terms of the beauty and power of women by continually oppressing them, by continually telling them, that you're a certain way. Like, what is the actual beauty behind all of that actually they can't see because they're blinded by this need to control?
The thing is, even if they had been wise enough, they could survive more by paying attention to this. I mean, they ignore women and the beauty that you're talking about, and this is this is somehow something that is now scary for them. Uh, I don't know whether I could transfer what I meant to you or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, saying that the fear is actually now to have women, by ignoring them so long, that now they're coming forth and saying life, freedom, and that now is creating fear because they realize actually how powerful women are.
And sorry, I really want to add this point too. There is one special thing about my country. The life inside our houses is far away different what they are showing in media, like in movie theaters. We are living the lifestyle that we are owning. It is somehow so similar to what is going on in other countries all around the world, and they're showing a different thing. Many of us, when we are practicing theater, we don't put on anything. When we are writing, when we are talking to each other, every lifestyle that we have chosen is so different with what they are showing. And now that the world is just understanding that, we are thinking far differently with what they are doing or showing. It has scared them more.
Mm-hmm. What do you want the rest of the world to know outside of Iran in terms of what's going on there? What do you want them to know about the heart of this movement?
What I wish the world to know about the heart of the movement unfolding here in Iran is that The ones who are being killed and tortured the number of the people are far more than the thing that they can hear in media. And that I want the world to know that we're like domino. Whatever happens here can affect your life too. There is a special poem which is written about the United Nations door to from Sa'di. He says Bani Adam اعضای یکدیگرند. It means we human beings are part of one single body. If Iranian people are like the hand of that body, other nations are other parts of that body. So when the hand is being hurt, the whole body is sad and cannot do anything. So pay attention to whatever is being happened here, as this is so special. This is like the government against us. We are not being hurt by another country or another nation. This is our own government killing its own people, and this is so sad. We want the world to help us, especially the ones who can do something officially to help us go to the end of this movement. I don't call it movement anymore. I call it a revolution. Even if it doesn't go anywhere, I myself won't ever forget that they killed many girls. I won't forget Mahsa, Nika, Sarina, and many other girls whose teenage time, when I look at when I look at them as teenagers, it was like so similar to my own being a teenager. So I am sure whatever happens, even 10 years later, 20 years later, none of us will forget the names of like these hundreds of people who had been murdered in the streets. Finally, we will have this like life, women life freedom, and on that day the rest of the world will be in two categories for us Iranians: the ones who really helped and supported the pure freedom that we were searching, and the ones who ignored us. So we will remember. Even if one day I get any acting or writing prize, I will dedicate that to each and everyone who has died in Iran and who is being died now. Right now that we are talking, people are being tortured out there. So it is not for Iran. It is not for my government. So this is for the ones who are dead, who are in prisons for our freedom. We will never forget for years if it doesn't go anywhere. And I wish, and I'm sure it will go. We will get to that freedom. The advantage for all other countries and nations is to support us, to stand on the right side and support us. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Crow's Nest. Please consider writing a review on Apple Podcasts and sharing this episode with your friends. To learn more about the School of Mythopoetics and attend our upcoming events, visit schoolofmythopoetics.com.